the little girl accidentally captured a video of two people having an affair. As a result, she was killed. The man was a well-known host on a local radio station. To prevent the scandal from being exposed, he ran over the little girl with his car and fled the scene. When the trial came, his wife was shockingly convicted as the murderer. It turned out that after the man returned home that night, he told his wife about running over the little girl, but concealed the fact that he was having an affair with a female anchor. After hearing this, his wife advised him to turn himself in. But the man, as a public figure in the city, was unwilling to ruin his future. So he begged his wife to take the blame for him, swearing that he would never betray their marriage, and that he would take care of their son from now on, and hire the best lawyer to reduce her sentence. The wife, holding their 8-month-old son, wept bitterly, and ultimately agreed to take the fall for her husband. When the woman voluntarily confessed in court, she was sentenced to 8 years in prison. The husband and the mistress both breathed a sigh of relief. The mother of the deceased girl also found some comfort, but in reality, during the 8 years, the man broke his promise and spent every day with his mistress, never visiting his wife in prison, and neglecting their son as well. Fortunately, the woman had her sentence reduced and was released early after donating bone marrow. Upon her release, she was most eager to see her husband and son, but when she returned home, she found a lipstick on the sofa. Just as she was puzzled, she suddenly heard her husband returning from outside. She quickly hid in the bedroom. By chance, she overheard their conversation, learning that her husband planned to divorce her after her release. It was only when she saw them having an affair that she realized they had been together for 7 years. So, the little girl was killed because she had caught them in the act. At that moment, she wished she could kill the two of them herself, but after thinking it over, she dismissed the thought. She then went to search for her son, but when she entered his room, it was empty. She thought he must have been sent away. Looking at his toys and drawings, she was filled with sorrow. Suddenly, overwhelmed with grief, she knocked over a photo frame. This woke the man from his sleep. Fortunately, the wind and rain outside didn't raise any suspicions. At that moment, the woman had already escaped from the villa with the photo frame. The next day, she went to the school to find her son, only to hear that he had been frequently skipping classes and was expelled. Upon hearing this, she was confused. To locate her son, she called her husband and asked him to give their son his phone, and to have the boy record a video wishing her a happy birthday. The man was suddenly at a loss for what to do. When he saw a young boy nearby, the mistress suggested that he have the boy pretend to be their son and record the video. The man thought this could fool his wife. What he didn't know was that his wife was watching them through the window. Clearly, this boy wasn't her son. As she was about to barge in and confront her husband, the mother of the deceased girl stopped her, and angrily dragged her to the cemetery. She blamed her for being the murderer and questioned why she was released early. The woman, as a mother, sympathizes with the mother of the little girl, but she couldn't reveal that her husband was the true murderer, fearing that the little girl's mother would be unable to accept that her daughter was murdered. At first, the woman wanted to keep this secret, but when she saw the gravestone next to it was her son's, she realized that her son had already died. Heartbroken, she could no longer suppress her emotions, and she shouted out that the little girl's death was a murder, and the killer was her husband. Immediately, the woman went to the hospital to retrieve her son's death certificate, but the hospital policy required that only the signed father could access it. Feeling defeated, she was about to leave when a wealthy woman stopped her.